All right, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, KTJ, former men's counselor turned love coach. And today we got an interesting one here for you today. 23-year-old woman shot over Christmas presents. And I want to tell you what the real issue is that I saw in this. So we're going to get into it. Let's get right into it. But before we do, please hit that like button, hit the like button, hit subscribe button as we run this story down. So this is a heartbreaking story, y'all. I want y'all to see this. 14-year-old shoots and kills his sister holding an 11-month-old son in a fight over Christmas presents. So this is terrible. This is this is just pulls on your heartstrings. So let me give you the story. This is a family that was going out for Christmas presents. You can see the sheriff's office said that Abrielle, which is the young woman who lost her life, 23, and her two brothers, DeMarcus, who's 14, and Darcus, who's 15, went shopping. And they also went shopping with their mother and Abrielle's 6-year-old son and 11-month-old child. So here's what the sheriff says. He says the group allegedly got into a verbal altercation over Christmas presents, Christmas gifts. All right. He said the fight was over who was getting more presents. Are you serious right now? They had this family spat about who was getting what and what money was being spent on who. And they were having this big thing going on in the store. So the fight, this argument, this conflict starts in the store. The argument, said authorities, continued when they got back to their grandmother's home. Okay, so all these people are living in their grandmother's home. DeMarcus then took out his .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun and he pointed it at Darcus. He pointed at his brother. So this is the 14-year-old DeMarcus pointing a gun at his 15-year-old brother. Terrible. After DeMarcus told his brother to leave the house, said the sheriff, they were separated by another family member before Abrielle told DeMarcus to drop it because it's Christmas. So she tried to play the peacemaker. So they said that DeMarcus then began to argue with his sister, who was holding her 11-month-old baby in a carrier in her hand, before calling her a WHORE. In other language, the sheriff didn't want to repeat. DeMarcus, he said, then threatened to shoot both Abrielle and the baby. This boy is nuts. You're going to shoot her and the baby before actually shooting. He actually did it. Abrielle fell to the ground. The baby was unharmed. The 15-year-old Darcus then allegedly came out of the house with his .45 caliber handgun. You shot my mother effing sister, before firing at his brother, who said then was unarmed in the stomach. I'll say this sarcastically. It's just normal that all these kids that's what they do. He said this is normal for them. Carry handguns, get into a spat, and you want to shoot someone. So this is how these people spent Christmas Eve. Goes a little bit long in there. This is terrible. It said she bled out. It popped both lungs. She couldn't breathe. DeMarcus has been charged with first-degree murder, child abuse, and delinquent possession of a firearm. Darcus was charged with attempted first-degree murder and tampering with physical evidence. Terrible. This is just terrible. So let me tell you what I saw when I read this. Let me tell you what I saw when I read this. What I saw was this. I saw all of these children. I even heard about the mother, but you know who I didn't hear about? I didn't hear about the father. Where is the father in these situations? Where's the dad? And I can tell you, none of this happens if there's a father around. I remember as you guys know, I was a counselor. I was a men's and boys counselor for 17 years. And I remember going to the juvenile justice system and going to do in-home counseling with a kid who was there. And I met a kid who was 15 years old in jail for life for murder. I mean, to see the kids, they just regular kids who didn't have a male role model in their lives. I don't know who I'm talking to on this, but this is what I'm suggesting. And maybe you are a person who has a kid who is in trouble, right? When he pulled that gun out on his sister, she wasn't surprised that he had a gun. His brother also had a gun. These are 14 and 15-year-old kids. There's no way you could tell me that their fathers are involved in this household. So if this is your son, and this is the advice I would have given them. If you find out, because look, I know sometimes moms do all they can do to save these boys. If you're in this situation, here's what I'm suggesting to you. You pack when that 14-year-old boy gets so out of control, if he won't listen, he's bringing guns in your house. Look, it would have been better for the girl to call the police on the brother when she saw the gun. At least she'd be alive. But if this is your situation, you pack this boy up and you drop him off at his father's house. Now, if that's given that his father's not in prison or somewhere somewhere else, but a lot of times a man will move on with his life. But all these kids with the same initials, they gotta have the same father, right? Them boys they almost twins. And I'm telling you, you pack them up and you drop them off at their father's house. Listen, I've been a non-custodial father, right? It's always in the back of your mind that this kid could come to live with you at any time. No, his new family might not like it, but that's their problem. I bet you he won't have a gun in the house. I bet you he won't be out there shooting people. And this probably is not the first time, or it'll be the last time, because he's going up for a long time. We got to save our boys, and there's only one way to save our boys, and that's to get our men involved. Fellas, you got to step up and save our boys. More to come. You guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time.